The following program contains strong language, sexual situations, and alcohol abuse. So, if you're easily offended, you may wish to consider listening to anything but Slater's podcast. Viewer discretion advised.
I'm already burping. Oh God.
Hey, there he is. There we go. Oh, now I can hear my voice, which is terrible.
I know you.
That's never what you want.
You hear you, and
yeah.
there you go.
Oh, and there's the sound effects. Rick wasn't fucking around. All
Honestly,
right, he's a serious man.
And it gives you that extra push when you're taking a shot.
It does
to finish.
Yeah,
it.
I'm not gonna lie. Look, Little John in my ears will always make me feel good.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna be upset by that. I'm also from the South. You have to like Little John.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. What was the thing? Well, he had the okay, and then what were the other things he had?
He's the feature king, you know. You put him on any song, he's just gonna bring energy.
Yeah,
you know.
I agree.
I'm not grading his discography.
I need a Little John in my life.
Yeah.
Any John.
Yeah.
Just
Big
a little one.
Just a little guy, a little, 5'7". You're in FIDA. I feel like there's a lot of little Johns walking around.
There's probably
there's some big Johns.
I keep my head down when I walk on the streets of New York.
Yeah.
I don't want to make eye contact.
This area is I don't come here often, but it's so wild to walk by like the fucking bull. You know.
I know.
You curse on here, right? I guess we're doing shots together. All right. I don't know.
Trust me, there's a warning before the podcast.
Fair, yeah.
About language. And
but a lot of people, some people care, some people don't, and I just curse so casually, and I forget about it sometimes. And then I was on a podcast where they were like, "We don't," and I was like, "What?
Oh,
all right."
What about just beeping it out?
I don't know. Yeah, well, I mean, it's gonna be a lot of beeps, so that's
fuckers.
Fair, yeah. I just think Southern, if you grow up that way, just cursing is just like white trash shit. People are just always, it's just the flavor.
And upstate New York, same way.
Yeah, well, any rural area, anywhere you get away from a city, people are getting a little weird with it.
And it's also so weird because I was trying to make one of my New Year's resolutions, which I haven't figured all of them out yet. I also just realized it was Lent. I was raised like Catholic, so I was like, oh, Lent, shit, what do I give up?
That's all of March, right?
Yeah, it's like 40 days or something.
All right.
Yeah.
40 days, 40 nights?
Yeah, yep, exactly.
It's
the full around the clock. Yeah,
right.
you don't stop at night. It keeps going. But I was like, what should I give up? And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to try to be more cognizant of swearing on stage because I do that in real life all the time. So then it just translates when I'm up there. And I'm like, I got to stop doing that because it's just, it doesn't add anything. And sometimes it takes away from the punch, Well,
the main comedy club we work at too, you very frequently will just have a random 12-year-old in the crowd. So it does help when you can pull some curses or not talk about the most perverted stuff on stage. Cause like very frequently in that club, there will they let children in because it's like tourists walking around Times Square and they're like, you want to see a comedy show? And they're like, we got this 12-year-old. And they go, we don't care.
It's so
we'll take your money.
And I have like so much like inappropriate shit. Like I can go clean, but like it's not like fucking Mr. Clean.
And you should. I mean, we're doing comedy for adults.
Yeah,
we're all drinking. Why? We should never think about.
No one's sitting at home writing material. Like, all right, is this good enough for 12 and under? Like,
it's 11:30 on a Thursday in Times Square. Like, why are we? I need to be clean. This is crazy. It's on them for bringing their 8-year-old to the show.
I was just gonna say, why aren't they in bed?
Like, I mean, they have bad parents. We know why.
They took them to fucking Times Square, so they're already
let them into a comedy
adults.
show. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's a lot. Well, so before I forget, because this has happened in the past, I'll introduce who I've been talking to randomly.
I'm sure my name's on it, right?
Yeah. So this week's Shotcast, I don't even know what fucking episode we're on anymore, okay? But it's second season. We're almost done. I think there's 2 more episodes left after this. You're lucky number 8.
All right. I'll take it.
Yeah, it might be 7, but I can't count.
It's not nothing.
So we have Spencer Sileo. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It'd be hilarious if you just totally butchered it.
Sileo.
yeah.
I've done that
silly
before.
With an O, Yeah, it's simple. It's 5 letters. It's not too hard.
Silly with an O.
Silly with an O. That's me.
Sileo. Yeah. So it's been in your
my initials are Sass. You would have thought I could have done comedy sooner. But,
oh my gosh. Yeah. Wow. Yep, he's a comic in New York City from Texas.
Going back soon. Going back home.
Going back, which I just found out about, and I'm pretty sad. Just to get more stage time.
Yeah. People actually respect you. I reached out to a comedy club there and was like, hey, I'm going to be moving back. And he's like, hey, do you want a headline? I'm like, whoa.
Dude.
I forgot people just,
give it out there. Like,
you don't even have to ask for anything, Like every day I'm asking for a free spot on a Tuesday at 7 o'clock. And then in Texas, I'm like, hey, I'm just going to be around. They're like, you want a headline? You're like, oh, right.
Like, we don't need a check tape.
Yeah. And it's cool. It's like, if it sucks, I move back in 2 years, I'm at the exact same point I'm at. But in New York, you're competing with Jon Stewart for stage time. So it's insane,
dude,
how hard it is to get consistent.
I remember one time at Gotham when I was like starting out and doing like bringer shows and shit.
Yeah.
I remember one time Jim Gaffigan came in.
Yeah.
And he like came in like mid my like first or second set I ever did. And I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And then he came up and I was like, yeah. And then like just their like cheering of him coming on the stage, not even saying anything, was the loudest they were the entire time.
Of course.
I was like, this is my competition.
Yeah.
I just started. Like,
also seeing him in clubs is fun because he's like, on TV, he's like Hot Pockets and he's like this super clean guy. But you see him in clubs, he'll go a little dirty. He'll be a little more like, he'll talk about more like modern stuff, which is same with Seinfeld, I've heard. That
Seinfeld drops in there too.
Really?
I've been
That's
there
cool.
when he was there too one time. And I asked him for advice like a fucking loser, but I was like younger and not as wise.
You can't not do. I remember one time I was a young comic, I was working the door and I was talking to this older comic and I was like, how do you open for people? And I look back on it and I'm like, oh God,
it's so
just when you're just so young. And he goes, it'll happen. It hasn't really, but you know what I mean? That was
still waiting.
He was just kind of like, shut your mouth, like,
yeah. But Jerry Seinfeld was like, he's like, well, before you go upstage, just say, fuck it.
That's actually not bad.
And I was like, okay. And then I literally would do that like every time I went on stage.
Yeah.
And it helped a little in the beginning.
It's not bad advice. You do have to just go like, all right, here we go.
Yeah, I was expecting a little more like of a crafted long answer, but then I look back and I'm like, well, obviously this guy's not gonna have like the time for me.
Yeah.
And to even like respond and give me a little nugget of knowledge.
It's something. Yeah.
I'll take.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially coming from somebody that big. It's cool to get that.
Yeah. I was like, you will never remember this, but I will cherish it forever. Thank you so much.
He forgot the second it came out of his mouth. Like if you would have asked him 20 minutes later, he'd be like, what? I don't know.
Yeah. He'd be like, who? The door girl?
Yeah.
Be like, no, just the aspiring kid who sucks. But yeah, so you're moving back to Texas, but you came here when you were 20. Is that what you said before?
I started comedy when I was 20. I moved out here when I was 22. So very quickly into comedy. Okay. I was like, time for got a hit in New York City. I'm moving here with $200 and,
oh my God.
And some duffel bags. Yeah, it was crazy. I moved with a buddy, Fernando, who's a comic, and we like were sharing a room in Harlem, and I'm like sleeping on the floor, and there were so many roaches. I would like turn on the lights, and like you just see them scatter out of my air mattress on the floor, and I'd be like, gotta chase the big city dream.
Yeah, you're like, came here with a duffel bag in a dream.
Yeah, I was only there for a month, but it was a traumatic month,
No, when you're in an environment like that,
it was crazy.
A month, you gotta like multiply it by 10.
They had a little Chihuahua there, and the owner was like this. They were like this Guatemalan family, spoke like no English, so we like not a lot of chit chat, and they had this little Chihuahua that they just never took outside, and so there was it was a 2-bedroom or a 2-bathroom apartment, like. So many bedrooms. Every time I was there, I would see a new person that lived there. It was like huge and weird. And one of the bathrooms, they just let the Chihuahua shit and piss on like newspaper. And that's not great.
No.
Roaches, big fans.
Are they?
I don't know. They were there.
They were loving it.
I'm kind of a, whatever I see, I go with. And they were loving that.
Yeah.
And the roaches were they were having a time,
They'll take anything.
And you would think, okay, you're letting your dog piss and shit in the house. You're going to clean that immediately, right? No.
Oh my God.
The poor Chihuahua too had like nails that were like overgrown,
Oh yeah.
That it was like, it was dark. It was dark, but that was my entry to the city.
Did she ever try to eat the cockroaches? Did she ever play around with them, form an alliance?
I don't know. There were so many that I was just like blinders on every time in the apartment. It was a nightmare.
So what got you out of there? You like?
I eventually, so I moved here. I was working at Starbucks in Dallas, and then I got a job out here. That was my way of like, I can make it in the city. I got a job at Starbucks, baby. Can't tell me nothing.
I was a barista, bitch. What?
Yeah.
How long were you working at Starbucks?
I probably worked there for like maybe a year in Texas, and then, or not even that, a couple months. Altogether, like a year. Once I moved to New York, it was a nightmare. Like
I was gonna say, like from there to here, the
orders.
Starbucks
in a smaller city, people treat it with a little bit of respect.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
It's like a high class cafe.
It's better than it's better than nothing. In New York City, Starbucks is a McDonald's. You'll just have a woman throw a drink in your face. Yeah. And I opened a new Starbucks in Park Slope, and they had me giving out samples on the streets of Park Slope.
You're barking for coffee.
I was barking with Starbucks coffee. The level of confusion people would look at me with when I would have Starbucks coffee. They're like, "Yeah, we know it. We don't."
Yeah, have you ever had this crazy new
you want to
coffee?
try this? They're like, what is happening right now?
I've had every kind.
It felt like they looked at me so confused, and I'm also in the middle of Park Slope. It's not a bustling area,
Yeah,
so
that's
I would
very
see somebody
random.
very randomly and be like, hey, a lot of times I would just throw them in the trash and then come back after 30 minutes and be like, I gave them all out.
Dude, that's what I used to do. I used to work at the Saratoga horse racetrack, and I would like pass out all the like handicapper reports and like just all the betting and like projections for the day.
Oh my God.
And it was like a stack like this big. And I'd get there and we'd start at 10 a.m. and they're like, you guys can leave whenever you get rid of your stack. I made friends.
Just immediately.
I made friends with the staff
Yeah.
so quick because they'd watch us, so you couldn't just dump them in the garbage.
Right.
But I would like it was like a drug deal. Like two of the guys on the staff like knew like my situation.
Knew what the deal was.
And I would like be like, hey, and then they would like walk through the gates and be like, and like take half a stack and like walk in and like put it in their coat. And I was like, this is some serious like drug dealing right now.
You're really doing it. Really doing it big. Yeah.
And then I'd always be the first one to leave. And everyone was like, how the fuck does she get to go home every day? It wasn't even like 11.
No one caught on?
I was like, I'm amazing. I'm a seller. What can I say?
We got the gift. When you
Just
got the gift,
fucking-
it's what it is.
I was like, double up, ladies. Double up.
This is how it works.
Yeah, it was.
You never got caught?
No, never
Hell
got
yeah.
caught.
That's a good run.
Now it's out.
Yeah.
Now
Now they know.
They're going to be
They're
looking
gonna
for
come
me.
back. They're going to be like, you actually need to give out a couple more. We
Like,
heard.
that's why that season was so low on income. Son of a bitch.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had a lot of weird jobs growing up because my dad was like pretty strict. And so as soon as I turned 13, he was like, you're legal to work. Like, go get a job. And I was like, what?
Hell yeah. That's crazy, but I would be that dad because I started working
100%.
at that age, and I think it is good for you.
Yeah,
You know,
it is.
Like, I think you need to work a little bit in high school, get that out of you, and then you need the support when you're in college in your 20s financially to be like, now go do what you want to do. Here's a little bit of money.
Yeah.
But when you're a kid, teach them like life sucks. You got to work for everything.
Yeah.
And then surprise them when they're 18. Like, hey, I'll help you out. Now.
Yeah, because then you like understand
a
that,
work ethic.
like
you
that
know?
and like just the value of $1. Now I'm sounding like my parents, but
Yeah,
like
we're both becoming Republicans.
we're like old.
I'm moving back to Texas.
We're old school generation. But like it's just because especially now like nothing's really that much to like cash anymore, you know.
Yeah.
So like you kind of just see it and it's just like a digital amount that's like changing day in and day out. So like even now like I don't really ever have cash on me, and it's so weird when I like do, because then when I spend it I'm like, oh, it's like fun coupons.
I love
like
it.
it feels like it's not real because it's not
My family's
changing my bank
Italian,
account.
and I guarantee you, if I ever get money, I will be such a cash whore. Like I will have a wad of cash on me at all times. I'll be greasing everybody. If I was rich right
Look
now,
under the mattress.
I'd give Rick $100. I'd give you Purdue. I'd be like, here you go, man. You know, I just love having cash and giving it out. It's so
Same.
fun. It feels so cool.
I'm
poor as shit, and I'll give people money on the subway all the time because it makes me feel better. I'm selfishly doing it. It's for my own ego.
Yeah.
You know,
there's some like because I'm on the Lower East Side, and it's like it gets pretty fucking dicey over there.
Oh yeah, you can't do that. Yeah.
Yeah. So like once you give to one, they all fucking
No,
come
it's
in
crazy.
like vultures,
Yeah.
and then you're done, and we never see you again.
Yeah.
But like this lady on the subway here, I had my AirPods in, but like I have it like semi-low so I can hear my surroundings because I'm like, this is how people die.
Transparency mode. You gotta do it. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and they think I'm not listening, but I am.
They
So
don't
really,
know.
I'm above you on the fucking counter steps here. But this lady came up to me like she was clearly not well, and she was like, "Hey, can I ask you a question?" I was like, "No."
Just a hard
That's
and
an
fast. That's a no.
ominous fucking I was just like, no, and she walked away because I'm like, dude, that's how they get you. You take your fucking AirPods out or whatever, and then they're like, oh, now you're hooked, and then they start a sob story of whatever the fuck, and
Poured
then
mine way too full in accident.
oh my god, yeah, oh yeah. Before I forgot that too, because a couple more of these, I'm definitely gonna have amnesia. But the alcohol we're drinking today. So Spencer told me tequila, and you know
I like tequila.
I took that and I ran with it, and I ran a little too far. Got a little too close to the sun with, I don't even know what this is, Coralejo?
Well, look, I'm not gonna offend my
I'm not
Mexican
gonna
friends.
yeah,
And
but
butcher
it's
it.
made in Mexico, so much so that it says it in
Callejo.
Spanish.
Callejo.
So this is the real deal. The liquor store guy told me to get it, and I'm probably gonna slap him the next time I see him because it is potent.
It's pretty good.
It is Vladimir potent. You like it?
Yeah.
Do you really?
I do, yeah.
I
Once
feel like-
I had the first shot, I was like, maybe I'm back.
Oh my god.
Cheers.
Oh, cheers. All right, I'm gonna do the double cheers.
It's funny when the music stops and we're both just dying.
Yeah, it's like then you just hear the
drop us on the earth there. We're like,
body,
oh my god, there's
the body
two people
sounds
with watery eyes being like, oh yeah, we're fine. Yeah, what?
Oh my god, that was nothing. I literally
these are huge shot glasses. I mean, to back you up a little bit.
They are big, and whatever. Go big or go home, I guess.
I wish they weren't on the camera so we can dramatize it more. Because I'm be honest, they look pretty small when I'm looking at the screen. I'm like, we got these huge shot glasses. Look at the picture, and they look small as shit.
These things are huge. And then they look standard.
Yeah, it's a girth.
But they're not. Yeah, they're deep and girthy, and we don't like that. Here.
We got chode shot glasses.
Yeah, no, it's bad. It's bad, but it's good.
I don't mind it.
Reposado.
I like tequila because people say tequila is the one that makes you up. Is that what people? You know what I mean?
Yeah, people are like, oh, it makes me crazy. Yeah, I'm like, really?
Yeah, I like it though because I don't feel like it makes me like sleepy or like super drunk. Like I like whiskey, but if I have whiskey, I'm gonna go to bed.
Yeah,
like I like a Jack and Coke on the plane. Have that.
Yeah,
that's a good time.
Oh my god, yeah. Drinking, traveling is the
oh
best.
my god, it allows my alcoholism to just go fully uninhibited. It's like you can have a beer at 6 a.m. and there's a guy next to you doing it also. He's gonna fly the plane, and that's fun.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And then that's Denzel.
Yeah, Denzel flight, baby, flip it.
My god, yeah. It's like no judgment, like fun zone.
Yeah, TGI Fridays is great. I mean, I love it, but it's not healthy behavior. But I like it. I don't like though. Sometimes there'll be like a family to the right.
Oh yeah.
And I can see just like a 13-year-old looking at me because I mean we look the same. We look the same age. Yeah. And that hurts. And I'm like, no, it's all right. I can do this. Don't judge me, man.
Yeah, you're like, I'm of age.
Yeah.
I'm making good decisions.
Yeah. Speaking of giving money, I did do this as a joke on stage, but I swear to God, I gave a woman $1 on the train the other day. She was super crazy. And then she was like, and what grade are you in? And I was like, I'm gonna kill myself. I just gave you money to insult me right now. What the fuck is going on?
For those who are listening and not watching, Spencer is actually,
I got a real baby face. I'm 27 years old though.
Yeah, he's got a baby face. I like to think I have a baby face too, but I think you trumped me in the baby face.
How old are you?
31.
Yeah, I mean, okay, here's the thing, and it's probably better for you. This is probably true. People are always like, oh, you're going to love it when you're old. You're going to love it when you're older, looking young. But as a man, it just kind of feels like they're telling me I'm going to be a creep. It feels like, what are you putting on me right now? Like, what is...
You're going to be at the playgrounds looking like you could be on the playground.
I don't want to date someone who's 22 right now because I have nothing in common with them. Let alone in 10 years,
Yeah, no, that's weird. You're going to have a May-December relationship.
What is that?
It's like a older person with a younger person.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So just heterosexual relationship?
But no, like
I feel like so many men date younger women. It's crazy.
Yeah, but it could be the woman's the older one and the guy's younger. There was a movie that just came out with Natalie Portman about that exact scenario called May December.
Oh, yeah. I watched a similar one with what's her name from X-Men? Mystique. Jennifer Lawrence.
Oh.
It was like a comedy. It was pretty creepy.
Yeah.
Because she fucks a teenager.
No hard feelings.
She fucks a teenager.
Yeah. Did they fuck?
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember. Maybe I blocked that out.
Yeah, I watched the movie and it was like, wow, all right. I mean, it was funny. There was a fun scene where she's naked and fighting, and it was unnecessary, but it was cool.
Really? I thought she I can't remember. I can't remember what happened.
She got in a fighting on the beach. I don't know why I'm getting into the movie, but it was fun.
No, I was like, whatever. I try to check out any like new comedy. Just
I love
to
it. Yeah, I watched
it.
Lost City last night for the first time, which is like Sandra Bullock and Channing Tatum. It's like a cheesy rom-com, like action comedy that came out like a couple years ago. It was pretty good. I was surprised.
I don't think I saw it. I feel like a lot of shit came out like in 2022.
And it was all a blur. Yeah.
And and I'm just like, what was I doing?
Well, we don't watch TV as much anymore, so you don't get commercials. There's no like monoculture. We're all just missed. Like if it's on your TikTok algorithm, you got it. If it wasn't, all right, you know.
Well, I like randomly get YouTube alerts telling me like new trailer or whatever, and that's how I get most of my movies now, which is so weird, and I don't know why and how that happened.
Whatever's trending.
But I'm here for it because I just saw like a good comedy. Well, not a comedy. Maybe it was like a horror, but with what's her face, Dreyfus, and it was
Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Yeah, and it looks so fucking good.
She's great.
Yeah, I love her. She's so funny. Did you watch Veep?
Yeah, I haven't watched the whole thing. I have a hard time with TV shows. I'm too ADHD for it.
Yeah.
Like I like it, but I have a hard time like sitting and being like, all right, let me jump into season 5, episode 4. Like once I've watched, like I'll watch them in a string, and then I have a hard time
Then you
going back.
fall
I just
off.
binge and then
Yeah, you're like, I got my fill.
addict behavior.
Moving on.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's called. I'm surprised I found that so fast because I have like 30,000 photos in my phone. But it's called Tuesday. It's a A24 film, which I fucking love.
Hell yeah.
But like, I saw that and I was like, what?
Yeah.
Is it? I mean, just from that like screen grab, it looks legit, right?
She's very talented. She's one of those people that
She's-
just can do everything. It's crazy.
Dude, she's so fucking funny, and I'm so happy that like Seinfeld wasn't her.
She's the only like
thing.
spoiled rich kid that I like, you know?
Yeah, dude. Like the Nepo baby fucking.
Yeah, she's the only one that I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes it works out.
Well, that's what
You
I was
know?
just saying with someone recently about fucking Dakota Johnson.
Yeah.
Like I'm
She's cool.
sorry. Like you like her?
I think she's cool.
I'm like, I met her personally.
I thought that's where you were going with it, so I'm just such a people pleaser. I was like, oh yeah,
You're
whatever.
Like, she's the best. Women.
I don't know shit about her. you
No,
know?
she's a Nepo baby, like a
Big time.
double.
Oh yeah, well, her dad is Don Johnson. Which
Yeah,
is
like
yeah.
in fucking Goldie or no, that's Kate Hudson.
Right.
Who's she's related to them though too.
Like yeah, it's all. But I mean that makes sense. You know, it's like of course.
I
those
get that
people
she
make
would be
you
in
know?
it, and then I kind
Yeah.
of get like weirded out when people don't follow and they're like, "Oh, he's just a farmer." I'm like, respect, but like,
Yeah.
why wouldn't you take advantage and then become a farmer? But whatever,
Right.
or play a farmer, you know?
Yeah, do a little Daniel Day-Lewis situation.
Yeah. Oh my god,
No.
is he coming out of retirement?
I don't know. I don't
feel
really.
like I saw something where he said he would for one specific role. Or,
Yeah, I respect acting, but I don't give a fuck about it. Like personally,
dude, I
you know?
could never act.
Yo, not
Like
at all. Yeah, that's part of why I'm moving to Texas. Is I don't give a fuck about any of the entertainment world outside of stand up.
Yeah,
I like
exactly.
doing stand up comedy. I like doing a podcast, but like I don't. You know.
Because you're yourself, and
Yeah.
you have to be yourself, and when you are the most yourself, it's the best.
But I also can't have like rules on how I can be myself too. 'Cause
Yeah.
even acting, when you're being yourself, there's still rules. I'm like, well,
Yeah.
you gotta say this, and it's. I'm just. I've been around a lot of it, like filming sketches and shit like that, and I
Oh my
respect it,
God,
but it's not
yeah.
for me.
That's
know?
why I like, because a lot of comics are like, also doing like skits and shit.
Kind of drives me
online.
crazy. If
And
I'm
I'm
being
like,
honest.
yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
I get it, and I understand
Yeah.
why you're doing
But stop
it.
doing stand up.
But also, like, if you're not good at it, please save us.
You're
Because
taking up space.
Some are so bad, and I'm just
Yeah.
like, I'm all like for I support everyone making their own shit, trying to like keep up with the trends and like get their name out there. But like some people, I'm like, this is hurting you. This
But
is
here's
not
what's fucked
helping.
up, and I agree, but it actually isn't that way anymore. Now it's like the internet's so fucking huge. You can put
Yeah.
out the worst content and it
Yeah.
will never hurt you because there's just no way to have negative attention.
Well,
anymore.
it'll hurt your peers that
know?
you see in person.
Oh yeah, for sure. Me
And
and
then
you
you're
won't
like,
respect
"Hey."
them, but also no one cares what we think. So it's you know what I mean. It's like
know.
it's both are true.
And
you know?
it's like, the fucking constant like chasing the algorithm. Like I
Yeah.
don't fuck the algorithm. I don't care anymore. I hope the algorithm hears this.
Yeah.
But like I'm not gonna cater to something that I think is gonna work. I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do and then hope it does.
Yeah.
And maybe
if those
that's-
two meet, cool.
Yeah.
But you can only control it.
Yeah, and I'm sure I'm
taking.
taking the fucking scenic route that way, but I'd rather like
Yeah.
be proud of what I'm putting out and like
Right.
be passionate about what I'm doing rather than like kind of
Yeah, I mean that's how I feel. That's why I don't like because I mostly host at the comedy clubs, which means you go up first and you got to be like, "Hey, how's it going?" You know, and then I hate doing that because it's like it limits you to a certain amount of jokes you can
Yeah.
do, or you can only do like crowd work, and crowd work's fine. I don't mind doing it to service the act and service the show,
yeah.
but I don't like it as like here's the highlights of my comedy, which is if all you're doing is that's the only thing you can put out, really,
Yeah, yeah.
or you can put out your joke that normally gets a 10 out of 10 getting a 7 out of 10 because you're hosting, and it's like that shit just drives me crazy.
Yeah, going
you
up
know?
cold is hard, dude.
Yeah, it makes you a better comic, which is cool,
Yeah.
but it sucks.
Yeah.
you know,
It's
so,
like you pay your dues with that.
yeah.
But like,
Running with weights makes you faster, but it's not fun to run with a
yeah,
fucking
it still
weighted
fucking
vest.
sucks.
Yeah, it's not
I
a good
still
time.
hate my life.
Yeah, you get paid $20,
Yeah,
and then
you're
you're
like,
in Times Square, and
"Ooh,
you're like, oh god.
Guess this is my Uber home. I just
Not
paid
even though.
for
Not
my
even.
way, half my way.
I went to Chick-fil-A yesterday before hosting at one of the clubs we
Ooh,
work
that's
at.
a ballsy move.
And yeah, I know. Man. Well, I'm going back to the South. I feel liberated. And so I go there, and it was a combo, a basic fucking nuggets and fries and a soda was $17. And I'm just like, what's going on? Like, what happened?
Dude,
You know what I mean?
A
Like-
salad is like $17.
But here's the thing. Okay, if it's a good salad, this is where I'm at. If it's a good fancy salad, I'll buy it. You know,
Yeah.
sweet green, I'll spend $17. If I'm eating fast food, that better be a deal. It better be like a 12.
Yeah, you
13.
didn't put your fucking heart and soul into it.
Yeah,
Okay? She's not back there
Not at
fucking
all.
blessing your chicken.
No,
Like,
Sweet Green, they're doing something right. They're putting something special in there.
yeah,
It's
I
addictive.
don't know if it was them or Just Salad that just said they're like getting rid of all their seed oils or some shit.
Oh,
Because
like the
that's
palm,
like a
the
big
palm
thing.
oil stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I don't know who. It might have been Just Salad, just seed oils.
Just seed oils. That's their new
Not
brand.
anymore. Yeah.
That's all we're doing. Palm oil. Everything is.
Like, you guys hate it, but it
Yeah.
sells.
Our new brand is. We're sponsored by Amazon. That's all we're doing.
Bezos is in the back.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
that shit's like crazy. I went down like a rabbit hole recently of like just all this stuff and all the processed food in America, obviously, because everywhere else in the world is mostly natural or they don't have food.
Right.
So like here, we're just like, let's doctor it up with some pesties
It's crazy.
and some oils. And I'm like, dude, but your body like regulates to that and like gets used
I'm
to it and
adapted
craves
to it.
it.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And then I'm like,
Not
dude,
a crave. I need it.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
it's an addiction.
Yeah. That's why I'm spending $17 at Chick-fil-A
Yeah,
just to feel
exactly.
something.
And then you justify
Oh,
it.
it's brutal. Yeah.
It's so bad because I'm trying to like go back and like really focus on like what I'm putting on my body because I'm getting older and I'm like, all right, like
I mean, settled 31.
I work.
All right.
I know,
You
but
know,
like,
yeah.
Rick, what are you pushing over there? What age are you? How old are you? 40 with a question mark?
That didn't feel true. It didn't feel
Yeah,
true
that
at
didn't
all.
feel authentic at all, Rick. You weren't even paying attention. You're on your
Yeah.
phone. I see you. No tip today. Lord. But anyway, I've just been trying to be more like cognizant of like what I'm putting in my body.
I know.
Which is
It's also that's one of the hard things about living in New York in general is it's hard to get good food. It's hard to go to the grocery store and it's hard to go to the gym. So like all of that is so exhausting to do. And like you can go to the gym, but then you got to like, I hate waiting in line, especially because I'm, no, people are listening, but it's like I'm a skinny guy. So it feels embarrassing when I'm just like waiting behind Mr. Olympia to be like, could I, I'm going to do that next. And I'm going to just, you're on like 20, I'm going to move it to like 3. But if I could just real quick, it'll take me way less time than what you're doing.
You're like, look, I'm not doing nearly as many reps.
Just I'm in and out.
I'll be right.
But it's so embarrassing, the working out in New York because the waiting for weights. I hate it so much. Or then like I've had multiple friends be like, I got a gym pass, come with me. It's no big deal. And it's like, it's a big deal. There's way too many people here. I shouldn't be here.
And they're already acclimated to the environment and you're just thrown into it.
I hate it.
And you're like, dude, I don't know where this is and where this is. I don't know like how to do this.
I know.
And then you're like, dude, like I can't. Public gyms just like, I used to go a lot. I used to actually, one of my jobs growing up, I worked at Planet Fitness.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy.
The fucking gold gym. Not literally, but the high standard gym. But I had the 5 a.m. to 2 p.m. shift.
Wow.
And I walked there.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. And I was just like, and I saved the pin with my name on it when I worked there.
Really?
And I weirdly like saved every, like a memento from every like fucking stupid job that I had growing up. And they're just like in a box as like a reminder of what I used to fucking do. Yeah. And I'm like, whenever.
Does it say Slater on the name tag?
Yeah.
Is that your real name or is that a nickname?
It's a nickname.
Right. You're Slatonymous?
Yeah.
It's like a longer name? Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, that's it. No, my real name is
Ron Burgundy.
Whoa.
Yeah, I know. People would get very shocked by that.
It doesn't fit you. Slater's better.
And yeah, there's like very far and few between that call me
Ron Burgundy.
Like my 5-year-old nephew calls me
Ron Burgundy.
They live in Alabama, so they're like, I'm like, yeah, Slater, you can't even like do syllables right now.
Yeah. He's got to learn to read first.
Exactly.
He's got a lot of steps
Yeah,
first
I'm like, I'm not gonna confuse you with his sound as a name.
Yeah. I think that's why I don't have a Southern accent growing up in the South.
I was just gonna say.
I do a little bit. Some people hear it, some people don't. I feel like once maybe on the 3rd shot, it'll start coming out. It's like a tumbleweed blows by. You know what I mean?
Dude, that's what happens to my dad. Because
really?
he was in the Army for quite a while and he was stationed in one of the Carolinas. Or maybe it was Fort Bragg, so maybe Virginia. But he was down there for a long time and he like picked up a twang when he was down there.
Really?
Yeah. And then he came up and met my mom who's from the Bronx.
Oh, okay.
So it was like a city country
Fucking
army
battle.
boy. And
Yeah.
I was like, what? So then like me and my sisters have
Yeah.
like a weird, when we drink, like we'll all start like going a little Southern. And
Wow.
now the one that lives
Yeah.
in Alabama obviously has an accent. And
Yeah.
then the other one's just a fucking mess. But
I don't know. I feel like the main reason I don't is watching like SpongeBob as a kid, you know, because then like every episode they'd be like Sandy over here, this dumb squirrel from Texas, and I was like, all right, let me drop this shit
Oh.
immediately. Let me just blend in.
dude, did you
know?
recognize that as a kid when you were
Yeah,
watching?
100%. Because my mom and grandma both are just like, hey, what's going on? You know, they're real, you know, I love
How
them.
y'all
God,
doing?
God bless them. Yeah, you know.
Want
And
some tea?
I swear to God, we would sit around at a table and all go, we don't got Southern accents. Like, we would all. And then I moved to New York, and like 6 months later, I'm like talking to my grandma on the phone, and I'm like, this is the most hick woman I've ever heard in my entire life.
Does she
you know?
say anything about your kind of?
No, because I feel like I've always just had like a very nondescript accent. Because I grew up
Yeah.
in a city.
Yeah.
You know, I
yeah.
had the internet. I was watching MTV. I knew what was going on.
I was
you know?
cultured.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, this is cringe. You know, you don't want to do this. You know?
Oh my god, it's so weird that there's like such a negative
Time.
connotation on the Southern accent. Like I feel like a lot
Well,
of
everyone thinks the South is stupid
They're like,
and
"Oh,
racist.
you're dumb and
that's
slow."
because it is.
yeah.
You know? But so is the North. That's the thing that drives me crazy.
yeah, like we didn't like skeet by that.
No.
Like we also are all
It's also
fucked
funny
up
to
in our
call
own way.
the South racist. You mean it's like where all the black people live? Like there's
Yeah.
I've never been to whiter places in my life than living in the Northeast, you know?
Dude,
Like,
I know.
it's so crazy.
Like upstate, I'm not kidding you.
I
there
mean,
was-
even most of New York is pretty white. you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
Like,
There was only one black kid in my school, in my
Wow.
high school.
That's fucking
And I was like,
insane.
the fact that he continues to
Yeah.
go here is amazing because I would be
Yeah.
like, fuck this. I
Right?
couldn't imagine going to an all black high school and I'm the only white bitch.
I went to Atlanta for the first time, and I was expecting like I mean, people talk about Atlanta as like this like predominantly black city, and then I got there and I was
Yeah.
just like, this is just Houston. I don't know if anyone's ever been
Yeah.
to any Southern. I think what it is people from the Northeast, they go to Atlanta, they see like 4 black people in a room, and they're like,
yeah.
oh heavens, you know, and then they're like,
They're
this is-
everywhere.
This is quite a, you know, and it's like it's very embarrassing for them, but
It is.
you know.
It is. They're like, childish
like,
Gambino.
yeah, I had to go home and Google how many black people in Atlanta because I was like, there's not enough. What's going on? You know,
We need to
Yeah.
fucking bring them back. It's fine,
the
it's
pre-chaser
safe.
is a wild move.
I know. I'm such a pussy.
Oh.
Yep, that'll do it.
Silence.
That'll
after
put
each
some hair
shot
on your chest.
is
I know.
hilarious.
Just the bodily functions of us
Just
dying
dying.
slowly.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gross.
What is
Ooh.
this? By the way? This is. I mean, I like it if I'm being honest.
I haven't even
Orleo.
given myself time to taste it, so I just have the burn, and I know.
Are you good at doing shots, or do
No,
you-
no, not at all.
I mean, you made this podcast,
I
so I
know.
mean, at a certain point,
know.
you know.
Well, I was
you gotta-
like, how can I stand out?
yeah, that's true.
And I
That's
was
true.
like, I like to drink. I could rip 5 shots in an hour. That's totally chill. And then,
Yeah.
like, as I started doing it, I was like, oh, I can't. And
Yeah.
but I'm plot committed now. I gotta do it. I gotta
Yeah,
fucking
hell
do it.
yeah.
I can't turn back.
Committing to the bit.
Could you imagine? I
Yeah.
just am like, you know what? Actually, I'm sober now. It's Sobercast.
I
And
mean,
we're
that
just
could
gonna
be
talk
interesting.
about
You might have more
books.
fans. You know, it could be the AA podcast.
I know.
don't know.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
I know. I should do that. I'll be like, look, I'll just have a solo one with myself,
Yeah.
not drinking.
God,
I'm
the
just
shots
shaking.
are over. Yeah, empty clip.
God,
Yeah.
I'm craving something. I don't know what it is, but I think it's alcohol.
Yeah. I mean, you drink early when you grew up in the South too. Like, cause I grew up super white trash, and like beer's everywhere. You're just
Yeah.
like you start drinking so casually.
When
know?
did you start drinking?
I mean, literally, like not exaggerating, like 13, 14.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
very.
I
Like,
was 14.
But like with my family too, they'd be like at a family get together, they'd be like, have beer, you know?
It is like
yeah.
a family thing because I'm Italian too. You said you're Italian, right?
Yeah. The wine
And-
thing, that was a big too. you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, a lot of wine, a lot of food,
Yeah.
a lot of Ovaltine. I don't know if you experienced that.
Ovaltine.
Yeah,
What is that? The...
it's like the chocolate malt
Yeah.
shake.
Yeah.
I don't know. My
Is that
grandma.
an Italian thing, or is that
I
just...
don't know.
All right.
My grandma loved it, and she
Okay.
was like super Italian. And like I would come over, it's like 2 in
I
the
haven't heard
afternoon.
that word in a long time. That shit used to rock. I used to be so
Yeah,
excited.
right?
Yeah.
I feel like it's so weird because I feel like every generation is like, we had the best. We had the best.
It's just
childhood.
nostalgia. It's just everyone loves
And I'm
the
like,
memories.
yeah, I'm like, you just like what it was
I
then.
know. I look
because-
back now on like those like the corny like 2000s era like flip phones and like the
Oh my
TVs. Like I saw this
God.
woman on TikTok the other day talking about a TV made in like 2003 that was just like a SpongeBob TV. You know, and
Oh
she was
my
just talking about how funny it
God.
is, and it's like that shit was awesome to
It
me.
had character. I
It was
loved
interesting.
it. Yeah. Especially with the flip phones. Like I had like a Razor at one point.
Yeah.
And that was like a cool phone at the time. And I remember I loved it
That
so
was really
much.
cool. If you had that, that was a flex.
Because you could hang
know?
up with sass. Like I
Yeah.
would literally just be like, fuck you. And then like
Do you
flip
remember
it.
those mini phones they had? They were like,
Oh,
like
yeah.
AT&T had
yeah.
like the mini one.
Yeah,
That
it was like a
my first
Tamagotchi.
phone,
I was like, what
and
the fuck is
and
this?
I had one.
It's a keychain.
I
You
was hyped. Yeah, my parents got divorced. Shout out, and that was exciting because my dad bought me that as like a fight
sorry.
move. No, like as like a fuck you to my mom. He like got me a phone,
it was
which
like,
was
I'm better.
pretty sweet in the crossfires. I was
You
getting
got
gifts,
it. Yeah,
you know?
you reaped the benefits.
And we were poor, so I was very excited. You
Yeah.
know? And so I got this little phone, and my dad said I could get a like a specialized theme song. You know, he's really trying to dunk on my mom and be
like
like, I'm the
a
cool dad.
ringtone?
Yeah.
Oh.
And you know, I was like, I mean, it's what is it? Probably 2005,
Cats
and I
in
was
the
like,
Cradles in the
no,
Seas.
it was "Sweet Escape" by Gwen Stefani.
Oh,
And yeah, then I'm in 5th grade and my fucking cell phone's going off, and my teacher was like 65, and I feel like this must have been the first moment because she's teaching 5th grade. So I think she probably had never had a child's phone go
She's
off.
like, it's my time.
And then Sweet Escape's going up. And she's like, what the fuck's going on? I'm like, my dad doesn't know I'm in school, so he's calling me. Because no one's calling me. I'm in 5th grade. I got my dad, my mom, my grandma on the phone.
Who
you know?
is it?
It was him. It was him calling me, being like, what are you doing? It's like, I'm in school, you
so
dumbass.
Funny.
You know? Yeah.
Oh my God, dude. My first phone was like a track phone.
What's a track phone?
It's like
the gangster phone? Is that
yeah, it's basically like the plug.
like a burner.
Phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was a drug dealer. Maybe that's my calling. It's starting to starting to pop up more. And I'm thinking I'm missing out on what I'm supposed to do, my full potential. But I didn't have a phone until 10th grade. And it was the track phone. So like everyone's like getting phones. They're getting like the fucking Juke. They're getting the Flip. They're like getting all this shit. And I'm like, you guys are cool, whatever. Like, look at this track phone. No one has it. And they're like, yeah, because no one wants it, you fucking weirdo. But I was still so proud of it. And I remember everyone's like picking their ringtone because that was the thing.
Yeah.
You had to really like.
What was it, like $2 to get a ringtone?
Yeah. And fucking with the track phone though, since it wasn't with a network, like you would go to Walmart and buy like minutes. Like that was me.
Yeah. You had to get those plastic cards with a gift card.
And then it wouldn't work unless you scanned it. Because I did steal a few and I was like, it doesn't fucking work.
What's going on?
What is happening? Walmart got smart. I don't like this. And so I couldn't like the ringtones you would buy on a track phone, which I didn't realize until after I wasted my $2.
Oh my God.
They were only like beep tones. Like it wasn't the actual song
so
because it was that cheap. So I had like Ballin'.
I remember that. Yeah.
Do you remember that song? So it would go off and it'd be like,
yeah, just the beats, and no one has any idea that
I was like, this is so embarrassing.
Of the effort that went into those beats.
Yeah,
that you put in.
And the ring back tone. Did you ever do that?
Ring back tone. No.
So when someone's calling you, it's like, please excuse the music while your party is reached.
Yeah, that was a flex. I remember we called somebody that had that, and you were like, okay,
yeah,
right, they're doing pretty well.
Dude, I set mine to like Sublime because I was in my stoner era. And like it was talking obviously about like smoking weed or whatever. My dad called me and I didn't answer. And like I fucked up because he heard the whole song and then he left a voicemail and was like, you're talking about smoking the reefer on your phone?
Oh, no.
What are you doing? You're an idiot. And I was like, oh, shit.
Dad's not a weed guy, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
He wasn't an old hippie.
Yeah, well, now he is.
Oh,
which is
of course.
so
They always
weird.
come back around, don't they?
So weird.
I know.
Now we smoke together.
Yeah, my mom used to give a shit about me smoking weed, which is funny, knowing her. And then she now eats gummies. Like little,
just pops them for breakfast, like
yeah,
vitamins.
and she's like, I'm just hanging out having a gummy. I'm like, who are you? This is hypocritical bullshit, you know? He used to throw my pipes away. Come on.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, she probably didn't throw them out. She probably kept them.
No, she was not, because my grandma is an old hippie.
Okay.
So my mom this is how white trash my family is. My grandma's
I'm just
a
picturing
hippie.
like Trailer Park Boys.
I mean, pretty close. We have a house. We're doing okay. But my grandma's an old hippie, so my mom is a rebellion. Was like, I don't smoke weed. You know what I mean? My mom told me one time, in our family, the way we rebel is we don't get tattoos. When I started getting tattoos, for people listening, I've a few tattoos, and so my mom was very much like, we don't do that. Like, that's how crazy they are. That like she's like trying to be like, no, that's actually cool to not smoke weed and not get tattoos. I'm like, no, you suck. That's what's happening.
Stand up to the man.
You're being boring. Come on. But now she's
God.
she's always been cool about it. But I think when you're 12-year-old smoking weed, you're like, what's going on? I don't blame her for that. You know?
So you smoked before you drank?
Yeah. I mean, about the same. Yeah, a little bit, a couple months before, you know.
Yeah. I smoked after. I think it was like probably a year after I started drinking. I smoked,
Yeah.
and it was literally out of like a tin foil
Same
pipe.
I was a goddamn MacGyver. I would take a Gatorade bottle, I'd turn it into a bomb.
Oh yeah, apples.
Yeah,
Like fucking get the screwdriver in there.
Once I learned the
those
apple
holes.
trick, that literally changed my life.
Yeah, and then I was like, this is healthy.
Yeah, and then also huge when you're a child and you're trying to hide it from your parents.
Yeah.
You just eat the apple, you throw it away, whatever. You know what I mean? It's like
yeah,
evidence
like no
is
evidence,
gone.
no
Yeah.
bodies. We're
So
good.
I used to get real bold because my mom would leave all the time, and I was an only child, so I'd be home alone. So I'd be smoking like in the house, like fully just like on the couch, like with an apple, just smoking weed. And then she would come back like the next day, and just I would somehow
She's like,
think
it smells like apple draft.
I don't know what I thought, but I would get away with it for so long. And then one time she came home, and I was just sitting there, and she opened the door, and she was like, "Do you think I'm a dumbass?" And I was like, yeah.
I was hoping.
I mean, you kind of have been for like 8 months. So
wait, when your parents got divorced, mine got divorced too.
Yeah. Hey.
There we go.
What age?
12.
Okay. 10.
Yeah.
All right.
Nice.
Statistically, worst ages.
yeah, literally. I know.
though, yeah.
But I was like totally fine with it. I don't know.
Yeah,
why.
me too. I was like, let's call it.
Yeah.
You know, I was like
time of death.
I was the
good.
boxing coach in the ring throwing the towel in, going,
Yeah.
we gotta call
I'm like,
it.
I don't want to
guys.
hear you bitch anymore. I'm
It's
trying
not-
to sleep and fucking get my spelling test in order.
Literally though.
God
Yeah.
damn it.
Yeah.
I'm
It's
trying
also
to learn
funny
cursive.
when people, I don't know, but for me, people were always like, oh, parents getting divorced 2 Christmases. No. What that
I was
meant
like
was
half
a
Christmas.
Now I have 2 shitty Christmases.
Now I have a Charlie Brown tree in my
Right.
half-ass living room that my dad got at this weird fucking apartment building that I don't
Yeah.
understand, and the carpets are all brown.
What my parents' move was all the time, my grandma would do this a lot. They would love to go to Dollar Tree and spend like a cool $20-$30
Yeah.
and wrap every single little piece of trash that they bought for $1.
Yeah.
And so I would be blessed.
Fucking stoked.
Gifts to the walls,
Yeah.
and all of it's just
They're like, it's gonna be a small
it's just a
Christmas.
sticky hand and some off-market candy,
But
and you're like,
that was
it's
like
sweet.
the best.
I appreciate it because they wrapped it. You know,
And
as
that's
I've
all
gotten
you
older, I
need.
appreciate it. But as a kid, I remember opening all these gifts and being like, damn, I didn't get a single thing that I'm gonna use.
Yeah,
you know?
you're like, this is not what I asked Santa for.
No, Santa did not get the message.
Santa took the fucking day off when I wrote him. God damn
I remember
it.
they got me a basketball goal one time, which was huge. That was actually
Oh,
like,
that is
I
a
was
good
like fucking hyped. I
one.
was like,
That's
you
a
know.
good one.
And then they put it on backwards, and I remember being a kid being like, I knew they had fucked up, but I was like, I guess Santa put it on backwards, like side-eyeing my parents, being like, these dumbasses.
You're like,
getting
I'm gonna go
drunk
in the
and putting
NBA because no one ever trained like this.
Yeah, no one's ever got the ball to bounce back to
Have
them
you ever
after it hits
dunked
the
it
bottom.
backwards?
Yeah.
That's crazy, dude.
I know.
And the weird thing is, like, my mom would always do that shit. Like, she would be like, it's going to be a small Christmas. And then there'd be a million presents, but they were all like the net worth
Right.
was very low.
But the older
I
I've gotten,
was
I
like-
appreciate it.
But
you
I was
know?
like,
It's
it's
thought.
the thought that counts. That's literally
It's true, though. It is,
ingrained into
Because
me.
now when I look at my budget, I look at my account, I'm like, even if I had the money, would I spend the time to go to
No.
Dollar Tree, spend $30, get all the wrapping paper,
And
wrap it all? You know what I mean? That's
getting,
nice.
Getting like
Like-
close to 30 items in the dollar store.
That's not nothing.
You got to really dig.
Yeah.
You're in there for at least
You're
an hour.
scheming, you're
Like,
finding stuff. Yeah.
You're fucking Googling shit. You're like, I don't
Yeah.
even know what this is, but it looks cool.
I know. They
Yeah,
did it. They
it's a
really went
lot.
for it.
And I don't know what it is. Like, maybe it is from my childhood. Now I'm in therapy.
Yeah.
But like, I'm like, maybe this is it. We're cracking me open right
Yeah.
now. But like, anytime, even when you like see gifts under a tree and there's like a lot of them, like, I don't even care what's like underneath them. Just like
Yeah.
seeing gifts wrapped gets me like
Mhm.
excited.
Exactly.
I'm like, oh,
yeah.
I don't
It's
even
just
care
fun.
what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Could be a fucking pan that I'm never gonna use.
It's something. It's
But I
something.
like it.
It's wrapped up. Somebody thought about it. They
Yeah.
did the thing. They wrote my name on it.
They put in
You
the
know?
work. Does
Yeah.
your mom still put, or your parents? I don't know who
Yeah.
gives you gifts, but do they?
No gifts. No gifts over here.
Santa's real.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just for
Just
all those 12 and
all
under
those
that me
12
and
kids
Spencer are
listening.
trying to hit.
Yeah. You know, we keep it
Um,
clean. Yeah.
Do they say like from Santa still?
No,
Or,
no. I don't get any gifts anymore because my family's in Texas. I don't go back for Christmas ever.
Yeah, that's
you know?
that's not a cheap flight.
No, that's the big reason I'm moving back is that like
Yeah.
if I'm gonna be a comic that makes $30,000 a year,
Yeah.
it would be nice for it to be in Austin, Texas versus it being in New York City. Because
Yeah.
like I'm a 3-hour drive away from where my grandma lives versus like a 5-hour flight. And then
Yeah.
I gotta rent a car and I gotta do all this. You know what I mean?
It's such a to-do, dude. And
Yeah.
the tabs like go high real quick.
Real quick, and I
Like-
realized too in the last 6 years I've been living in New York City, every trip I've taken basically is just back to Texas to be like, hey, I miss
Still
you guys.
alive.
Yeah, you know.
Still not famous.
Yeah, still need some money.
You
know?
see me on TV, but because I'm going to jail, not because I have a special.
I know, yeah.
It's the worst, dude.
Yeah.
Every time I go home, like people are like, so like, when can I come get your show? I'm like, that is the most annoying question you could ask. I appreciate your support, but like it is so like randomized. Sometimes I don't know when I'm going up until the night before, the night of. 2 days prior is like the most advanced.
An hour before. Yeah.
Yeah.
They take advantage of you like crazy, and there's no way to control it. You have to just be like floating in the wind, being like, hey, whatever happens.
And then I'm also like, I don't want to be like too available.
Right.
Like,
right. That's so true.
Like, we can book her whenever. I'm like, well, you can, but like, let's give me some grace.
I know, but it feels like the bookers, they love to play favorites. Once they like make a list, you know, once they got but it's like everything in life, you know. Every job I've ever worked is the same as comedy. Every coffee shop I've been at, every food place I've worked at, every restaurant I've worked at, there's a manager in place. They're the king, they're judge, jury, executioner, and they decide. And that and comedy's the same. That's what I get so annoyed with when I listen to like famous comics on podcasts talking about like, oh, you know, comedy's so different. And that's like, it is the same as every job I've ever worked. You know what I mean?
The opportunities and what you can like utilize on the platforms definitely have changed, obviously. But like the same like high school cafeteria, where am I gonna sit vibes are still there.
Well, that's the funny thing. When you're in high school, everyone's like, hey, it's just high school, man. When you get out of here, it's gonna be so different.
I'm like, no,
and
it's
then
not.
The second you get out, you're like, oh, everywhere is the exact same as high school. And the sooner I would have just accepted that, I would have been much better off.
It's very tribal.
Yeah.
Like,
but that's human nature. I think that's just what it is.
Exactly. That's what I was gonna say. It's just we're still like humans. Now we're just put into a different situation, which is like now I'm like, everyone's like,
and then you add fame to it, you add money, you add
ego,
attention and ego.
Yeah.
And that's the thing I've realized a lot with comedy is like, I think a lot of comics get like they get a lot out of just being on stage and getting the attention.
Yeah.
But I'm like an introvert and a little weirdo. I hate that shit. If I'm not getting laughs, I want to get the fuck off stage. So hosting to me is my nightmare because I got to get on stage, not get laughs, and get all this attention, and I hate it so much.
You're like, this is not going my way.
This is literally my nightmare.
And you're like, I am better than this, but I'm not in the fucking opportunity right now to show you guys.
And then just years pass. And
and then you're like, who am I?
What's happening?
Who am I?
I know, it goes fast.
Dude, it's the fucking worst. It's such a love-hate relationship, but I guess it's like that with anything.
But that's any pursuit. And that's the thing is like one of my buddies I grew up with, like one of my best friends, best man in his wedding. Like we're real tight. He is now like a big alcohol rep. Like he moves for Fernet Branca, which is like this old fancy like liqueur company.
Fernet?
Yeah.
I think I drank that with Zach.
Yeah. Fernet's big. Fernet's cool.
Oh my God.
I love Fernet.
Oh, we talked so much shit about that.
It tastes like shit.
Taking shots of it, I don't think that's supposed to be like the way
it's one of those things that's like, it's like Malort. Have you had Malort from Chicago?
No.
It's like the same type of thing. It's like a gross liqueur that people think is like good because it's like a tradition based like drink.
Yeah.
But
oh, you saw.
Yeah.
You saw the timer, you little fiend.
Yeah, I'm an alcoholic.
That's hilarious.
No, but he tells me about that world, and that world to me is very similar to comedy, where it's like there's competition, it's personal politics, it's who you know, it's who likes you. That's just the world. That's how everything works.
Yeah.
You know? And I think comics get in their heads and they think it's so much different and so much whatever. And it's like, that's just how everything goes.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's like,
you mind if I steal another one of these LaCroix? Is that possible?
Go for it. Do you want mine?
Yeah, I'll take it.
I sipped it once.
All
I don't have herpes, I promise.
You hate it. Okay, it's full as fuck.
Fuck
all right,
LaCroix.
You ready for this?
No, I love LaCroix. You're going to be my sponsor.
Whoever's going to sponsor, cheers. Sweet Jesus.
Rick, you were late on that one.
Rick's on it.
Doc. Can't believe you. Oh, God. Ooh, I got the afterburn on that one.
Yeah, no joke.
Ooh, my face is so red.
I mean, we're halfway through this bottle, so I mean,
Jesus
at least credits
Christ.
us to some point, you know, the amount.
Oh, God. All right. Sorry. After this one, we're done. So
yeah, I mean, hey, you made the podcast, you know.
Yeah, I know. I'm such a.
I feel bad,
I'm
and I shouldn't feel
bad. Sabotage. Wow.
Yeah.
That's the correlation.
Yeah, that's what happens when you do. I mean, what is that? That's shot number 4, right?
I don't know.
I think it is.
honestly
Yeah.
don't know.
I don't know. It's an amount that is ridiculous.
It
But
is. And usually I get a personal bottle, so by the time we're done with the allotted shots, it's gone. So I know my timing that way, but this didn't come personal.
No, I
it's
know.
just very public from the
Yeah.
gate.
Yeah, it's
And
pretty ridiculous.
I just
Yeah.
it's a lot. I feel like we got that from like fucking what's his face in Breaking Bad? Tuco,
Yeah,
what's his name?
Where did you get that from?
Oh, I love this shit.
Yeah.
Like that is
That
who
guy.
fucking made this.
That feels like it. It's also, it being Reposado makes it a lot more heavy to shoot, which is not fun. But
So, dude, that's what I was saying at the
Yeah.
liquor store, and he was like, "No, that makes it easier." He's
Maybe-
like,
look,
he's
I don't
like, the
know.
silver is too strong.
this is where I'm at, though. I'm such a easily influenced person. The second somebody goes, no, I go, yep.
You're right.
Whatever. Hey,
I can never
whatever you
stand
just
my
said,
ground.
no. Whatever you need, man. Whatever it is, I got it.
Oh my god. Wait. Oh, so I wanted to talk to you about because I talked to you before you left. How was Eliza show?
Wrong comic, but hell yeah,
Oh
dude.
my god. Oh my god. Nikki Glaser. Sorry, blonde comic.
I mean, they're in the same Venn diagram.
But yeah, they're
Like,
blonde
but Nikki's
comics,
funny.
and
That's
I
the only
like them
difference.
both. So sorry. So sorry.
No,
I'll just edit that out.
Yeah,
I'll
who
edit
cares?
that out.
Who cares? No, don't make Rick do more work. He's pissed. No, no, it was great. I mean, she's the fucking best. Shouts out to Nikki Glaser. She changed my
yes.
life. The fucking best. She's
Changed
coolest
my
as
life.
fuck. No exaggeration though. I was gonna pull a Bud Dwyer.
She showed
on
me
the,
what a vagina is.
on the Broadway. I wish. That was the funny thing. Every male comic I talked to is like, she's probably having you open for her because she wants to fuck you. And then you see her in person, and you're like, I would be so lucky. Like,
Yeah, what?
she's
Isn't
5'9". She's
I
a
thought she
model.
was-
She's
is-
hot as fuck. You
Is
know.
she
Like-
married or no?
Yeah, she's like a long-term
Yeah,
boyfriend, basically
yeah,
married.
yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of those female comics are like
Mm.
pregnant or married, like in the
At
last
that age,
year or
yeah,
two.
which is funny. It's like late
I'm like,
30s, early 40s.
damn.
They decide,
Yeah,
you
I'm
know,
like,
at the last
shit,
minute.
all right,
Yeah.
I better peak soon so I can get out
You have,
my
you
shit.
have another decade, you know?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want kids, so that helps.
Me neither. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, especially with no money, I can't raise a poor child. I was a poor child. I can't do it.
Same.
You know?
And I'm just like, I can't do this again.
No.
Don't repeat the pattern.
No, can't do it. Can't do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Nikki's the best though. It was cool as fuck. I got to open for her in Atlanta in front of 2,000 people. It was crazy. She was so cool. Flew me out, put me up.
I was gonna say,
It's the
yeah, it
best.
was all
she was the best.
covered.
Paid me well. It was great. She was so cool. It was one of those things like I've been in comedy for 7 years, and you just meet nothing but most of the people in charge in comedy are shitty assholes. you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
And so you forget that the people at the top are cool as fuck and chill because those are the people that get out of it, you know?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
her energy is infectious to be around because she's so confident and so cool. Like before the show, she's curling her own hair. She's 2 people in the room. She's hanging out with her mom. She's hitting a weed pen. She goes out. She has an hour and a half of jokes.
I love it.
An hour and a half of
I
jokes.
love
At every
it.
moment as a comic, I'm watching her from the wings going like, oh, she's kind of like filling time.
Yeah.
And then left hook, boom, huge punchline.
Yeah.
Like it was so impressive to
She
watch.
does a good
you know?
long setup.
Yeah.
Where you
and
think it's just a storytelling.
it was cool to watch. It was really
situation,
cool to
and
see.
then it comes back. Yeah.
That level of comedy in person.
Dude.
It also will get you back humble where you're like, you know, because I went out and I did 15 minutes right before her, and the first like 3 minutes I'm like, okay, things are going pretty well.
Crashing.
Kind of doing the damn thing right now. And then I got an actual big laugh, and I was like, oh, I've been bombing for 4
Like,
minutes
oh, I
straight.
just realized the potential.
Because there's
of
that
this.
many people there that
And
like
I
I was
suck.
making like 300 of them laugh, going, I'm
Yeah.
the fucking man.
Yeah.
And then I got all of them
And
laugh.
then you made the 2,000.
and I was like, oh, right. I've been bombing. And then again, I thought I fucking killed.
Yeah.
She went out, and within 20 seconds, I was like,
And it
oh, I
was-
was eating shit the whole time. You know,
Yeah.
because it's just,
Yeah.
they're there to see her, and she's
Well,
on a whole
also,
other
I was
level,
gonna say
you know?
it's catered to her.
Of course. But
So
also the
any-
level of comedy, like when you see that level in person for like her doing her A++, because like if
Yeah.
we saw Nikki Glaser drop into a comedy club in New York,
Yeah.
that's gonna be her like C act, which is
Yeah.
crazy. 'cause
Yeah.
it's still
And they're
gonna
testing new stuff.
you know,
when they're
but
doing
when you see
that,
them do
yeah.
their like, she's about to put out a special, and so she did that special plus whatever
Yeah.
the fuck.
Yeah.
It was impressive. Like I
So
embarrassed
it was-
myself a little bit because she was so cool and funny. I was like trying to be like, she'd riffed this joke that I didn't realize was riffed, where she was talking about her boyfriend being short, but he's super hot. That's the
Yeah.
only reason she's with him is because he's short. He has to have a defect. This long thing. It's funny. And then she goes, and I don't want to belittle him, but you know, I don't know, he belittle, you
I
know?
was just gonna say he'd be little.
And it made me laugh
Yes.
so hard. And I'm in the
That's
green room
amazing.
after being like, that was so funny. And she goes, I just made that up on the spot. I'm never gonna do that again. And she's like, just making fun of me for how much I liked it.
love
And you see
that.
people at that level, you're like, oh, right. Like
Yeah.
the water goes that deep. Like there's
Yeah.
people that good at comedy, you know?
And it's like being in that kind of environment and situation
Yeah.
makes you fall in love with the craft again.
100%.
Because you're like, people are still like, especially successful people, they're
Mhm.
still putting in the effort and like really hitting the fucking bars. Like,
yeah.
you know what I mean?
Put in
Like,
the work.
because when
Yeah.
you're like out here in the city and like doing spots and doing this and like, oh, it's a bar show or it's a comic produced show or you're
Yeah.
at the club that you got passed out and now you're doing shit. You're over here, like whatever.
Right.
It's like you see so many people and I feel like it's like almost lost upon, not all of them, there's good ones,
100%.
but like
Yeah,
it's
I know what you're
lost
saying.
upon a good percentage.
People take it, they don't appreciate.
where they get comfortable.
Yeah.
And I'm
And
like,
that's a big reason I'm moving is because it's kind of driving me crazy. Is like I've been banging my head against the wall trying to get to where those people are at that are so comfortable.
yeah.
And I can't do it. And at a certain point, it's like, all right, that's fine. I'm going to go to where I can just get real opportunity because
Yeah.
in New York City, there's so many people, like really good comics too,
Yeah.
that are just taking up space and they don't try. And then a lot of them don't have to because
and
they're really
running
talented.
the same set,
Yeah.
which fucking kills. But also,
Right.
who the fuck was it that was like, if you're running the same joke, you're wasting time. Like if you're running
Yeah.
the same joke that you know works,
Especially if you're in the middle of the
why are
set.
you doing that?
Right.
You only pull that out if you're fucking really failing and need to really like pull out the
Or if you're
stops to like
hosting
make
and-
them,
yeah.
exactly,
You
make them
gotta-
get you on your side. But I'm like, dude.
Yeah.
It's such a waste. Like people I see doing the same sets for like years. I'm like,
A long
bro,
time. Yeah.
like I'm not shitting on them because I get it. You get comfortable, you know it works, but like, how do you expect to like progress when you're just doing the same thing?
Yeah. And that's where I'm at. Where I'm
Like,
like, I feel like I have
You
a
gotta
good
you gotta take that risk,
I have
like
like
how you were in the
40,
beginning.
50 minutes of jokes that I want to do, and there's nowhere to really do it in New York because you can't
Dude,
get that
I
stage
started
time.
yeah,
you
I
know?
started testing new material during hosting because I'm like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, but you're never gonna get a fair gauge on your joke when you're up cold and no one has a drink.
Yeah. Well, I'll
know?
do it towards the end.
That's smart.
Because
Yeah, or in between
it's
comics.
like the
if
10
you-
up
you know.
front, and
Yeah,
then I'm like, okay, I'll do what works. I'll do the crowd work, do another thing that works. Then I'm gonna test my new joke that I want to try tomorrow
that's smart.
night.
That's smart.
And then I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, so like I know you're on my side. Let's see how this
Get a
goes.
little
See how
balance
this goes
going.
while you're
Yeah,
sober,
yeah,
because
yeah.
even
Yeah.
that, if it gets a like pretty decent
pop.
reaction,
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
oh, okay, so this is something.
That's true.
I'll continue working on this. I'll mold it, whatever.
That's true.
But it's
Yeah.
it's so crazy, and I feel like I'm so happy that you got to go there and like have
It was
that
cool. It was a
experience.
long journey too because I posted clips. You know, I used to get like regular spots on the weekends for free, unpaid.
Yeah.
And I would do those and I would film those and I put those clips up online and then those did well. And then that's what Nikki Glaser saw 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And then since that happened, I stopped getting those spots on the weekends, you know,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
You know how the politics goes. And so I just spent 2 years of just hosting and eating shit and just nothing happening. And then
Yeah.
out of nowhere, she DM'd me and was like, you want to open for me in Atlanta? I'm like,
Yeah,
thank God,
which is
thank
amazing, and
God,
fucking
you know?
shout out to her for
For
like,
being cool as
just
fuck.
being such a G.
But the whole thing was
Like-
so like boss energy where she just like the whole thing is goals where it's like she just got to casually DM me, right?
Yeah.
It's like 2 messages. Then she sends me to her personal assistant who books my flight, books the hotel, does everything. I
Yeah.
fly out, I get to meet her, whatever. It's like that level of like control and money is so like goals of like
Yeah.
you can just change somebody's life on a Monday.
And that,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's so fucking
and that
cool,
would be
you know?
like if I were to be in that position, and hopefully in the future I will be. Like that is
100%, yeah.
that's what I would be doing. I'm not gonna like vet people who already had success or semi-success. Like I want people
Well, that was
who
cool.
are really
Yeah.
good.
She was
that
in the
I've
green room
seen.
talking shit on a comic I really like, who I won't say, but like
Yeah.
she was talking shit on him, being like, he asked to open for me, and I'm like, you should be headlining.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fucking, I can barely get stage time in New York,
Yeah.
and she's having me out, and so like, because she's a real comic and really appreciates comedy,
Yeah.
she gives back. You know,
Yo,
and you
you-
forget that exists because so much of comedy is people who just do not care. you
Yeah,
know,
or they
like-
have connections, or they fucking suck
Right.
someone's dick,
Yeah.
and then they fucking get all this time, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
really? You're there, but I know what you did in the back room. Like,
but the
let's-
most people at the top are cool and chill.
they are
you know?
because when that's a good point, and I think it's because like they have the true talent and
they
like,
put through all the bullshit.
perseverance,
Yeah,
and they
yeah, yeah.
fucking don't let up on who they are and what
Right.
they believe in.
Like
and
we're
that's
watching it
gonna
happen
shine.
with Troy right now. You know, he's starting
Yeah.
to break through, and it's because he's
Yeah.
a cool guy. You know,
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah, exactly. You just have to stay true to yourself. Keep like with your style. Keep with what you're doing.
I think authenticity
And
works
not
over
sell
everything.
out.
Yeah,
Like-
no, truly though. Like if you're just flat out who you are and you don't give a fuck. Like at the end of the day, I think that wins over everything. You know,
Yeah.
people connect to that on a deep level. Like I heard Seth Rogen talking about when he made Superbad.
Fucking love Seth.
Yeah, you know, and
He is like one of my idols.
he's cool and
I
he's
love
chill and he's
him.
just real. And he was talking about how like when they made Superbad, like they were talking about how like no one's going to relate to this. It's about, you know, these teenagers from Canada, but the more personal you get, the more accessible it is.
It was the most relatable movie of my
Right.
young years.
Because it's like I think the more like no human being is really that unique. We're all the same. We're all made of the same shit. So it's like the more personal you are, the more it connects to more people. And I think,
you get in this like weird trippy mindset where you're like, they won't be able to relate. These people won't get it based on like just even when you like scan the crowd when you're about to go up.
Yeah, that's fun. Yeah,
and you're just like, oh shit, like I had to change my material.
Oh
and,
god,
like,
yeah, I should be a different person.
I gotta cater this to an older audience or whatever it is. And then I'm like, you know what? No, because they all experienced what I've experienced on a different level, obviously, but like we're all living life.
Exactly.
So like that's why when someone comes out with like a very like oddly specific but general joke that everyone gets, it's like the best.
It's the
like
best
I just was like on my fucking Instagram feed earlier and there was like something like a tweet and it was like, yo, when someone comes over and they ask for a glass of water and they come back with a glass you've never seen in your cabinet. I was like, yo, that's so random but on point.
It's
like,
so true. Yeah.
You're like, where the fuck was that?
I know. I just moved into a fucking nightmare situation with a bunch of comics where it's like 4 comics live there in like a huge apartment.
Comic living is tough.
Yeah, it's tough.
I'm not gonna
tough.
lie.
There's so many roaches. It's crazy. Like I swear to God, when I was leaving the apartment today, I saw a baby mouse.
No.
Like right by the door, and every time I wish I thought at some point I would evolve to a point where like I see a roach, I see a mouse, I won't shriek, but like I let out a scream inside me every time that I didn't know existed. Yeah, and it hurts every time.
It comes from the belly.
Yeah, it comes from the belly, and it's pure bitch. It's pure bitch that just comes up.
Like,
and
who is she?
You know, it's just so bad and so like God. You know, it's so embarrassing every time it happens.
I can't.
You know, because it's visceral. I mean, it's from the bone.
It's such which is weird because it feels like so instinctual. And I'm like, why is that happening? Because we came from like cavemen and shit who were like, there's a bear, bitch.
They're too fast. That's what it is.
Is it?
They control the speed of light. I don't know what it is about mice.
I know. I'm like, was
mice
that a shadow?
Move so fast.
Is that a shadow? Is that my shadow or was that a mouse?
What's
I don't
going
know.
on? It's crazy.
It's so bad, dude. I had a big mouse problem recently.
The difference too between a mouse and a rat to me is like if I see a rat in my apartment, I'm like, I'll kill myself. I'll move out of here. I'm out of here. But I see a mouse and I'm like, it could have some bread.
They're kind of cute.
It's kind of cute, you know?
Like a little hamster.
Yeah, you know? And then it crawls on me. And I'm like, I'll kill myself.
Bring your family in next time. Let's have a sit-down dinner. We'll
Come on,
talk about
Feifel, get in here, dude. Bring your whole squad.
Stuart Little, get in here.
Coming to America,
Rip that little red convertible.
I know. Ratatouille is the only one that got the rat brand up, you know. Yeah. But Stuart Little, we got Feifel, Coming to America.
Stuart Little was a fucking G. He was also a genius.
He was, yeah.
I was like,
flying planes?
Okay, you want to help me cheat on my homework? Fuck. Shit's wild.
Whatever you need, Stu, let me know.
I had the little, for Christmas, callback. I got a little Stuart Little, like, remote control convertible thing where he was in the driver's seat.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So I went to the parking
terrorizing
lot.
the city.
Like,
yeah. Let them know what the deal is.
But the sad part was the remote control was connected to the car. So I was like, I had to run with it.
Yeah, just to keep up.
We weren't cool enough to have unattached.
Right. I
don't know if it was the times or our money. But I was being leashed around by that motherfucker.
Oh, no.
All right, this is our Russia. I think we actually did more than we allotted to, but
really,
do you want to do a last one?
Pour me a half.
Yeah, we'll do a half-see. Oop, that's a half for me.
All right.
There we go.
All right,
I did it.
Woo, you did it.
Congrats. Oh Lord, my face is so red. Like, what is that?
I mean, mine is too. If it makes you feel better, you know.
No, what? Yeah. That's bad.
Yeah,
that's bad news bears.
All right,
last shot.
Cheers.
Last opportunity. Everybody. You like that?
It was pretty good. It was pretty good.
I was there. I was in it.
There's something about the music that makes it feel better. You know, it's like
thank you. That's why I was pushing for the headphones.
Yeah.
I was just thinking of you in this moment.
I mean, I just listen to my voice this entire time, which will make me jump up the Brooklyn Bridge on the way home. But you know,
I hate it too. I'm like, this is what I sound like. It's
that's
like
the worst part about doing stand-up is that people are like, to put clips out, and you're like, if I have to watch myself do stand-up comedy, I will never do it again.
That's the worst part, because then you're editing yourself, and I'm like, I hate everything.
I think it's so funny too, because like people see you do stand-up, and you're like confident, you're whatever, and they're like, oh, you're whatever, and it's like, yeah. In that moment when I'm not thinking about it,
I'm like, I don't want to relive that.
I don't want to look back on it.
If it was good or bad. I'm like, looking back is just traumatic.
Oh God, yeah. Every time I look back, I'm like, I'm gonna do 20 push-ups right now. I gotta just change everything about.
I'm like,
what's
what am I doing
on.
with my hair?
Yeah,
I've
what's
had the same
going on?
hairstyle since fucking 9th grade. Do something, you loser.
I go get Hims. The hairline's going, buddy. Come on.
You want some pros?
Yeah.
Sponsors.
That's nice. You don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about the hair loss. Women don't talk about that enough. They don't have to worry about it, you know? They got everything else that sucks. But
yeah, I was going to say, that's the one thing you guys
But you got that going.
We got about 99 problems.
Yeah. But a hair ain't one.
And being a bitch is one. That's a problem.
It's not a problem. It's more a virtue.
It's just what are you going to do with it, you know?
My mom was a bitch. I love her, you know?
Yeah. You could be a bitch. You could be a whore. Those are basically the only two options.
Yeah, those are the best options.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, with that. With that,
Where are we at on this?
that's a wrap on our. We finished basically
half the bottle of this
half
tequila.
The bottle of very scary tequila. Like even
drunk.
the bottle's intimidating. Like I wouldn't want to fight
Give
that.
Sponsor. Give a sponsor.
Like Nacho Libre wouldn't even fucking challenge that shit in the in the ring.
Yeah, he was a wrestler,
right? Like the court.
Yeah, I watched the Iron
field?
Claw. Yeah, come on, I know.
Oh my lord! All right, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me. This was fun.
I had a great time.
Yeah.
I hope I didn't influence you too badly.
No, and I'm drunk, but.
And Rick, you know, you're wearing a Mets hoodie today, so I'll let it slide. Thank you so much, Spencer Sileo, everybody.
Yeah,
please follow him.
You.
What do you want to plug? Anything?
Yeah, I'm headlining the Hyenas Fort Worth in Texas on April 27th. If you're in the area, Spencer Sileo, Sileo on everything. And thank you for having me. I appreciate you, Slater.
Hell yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Crush it. Oh, you did the audience clapping after. Look at you still working that soundboard even when you're not